It doesn't matter whether you're Hindu, Muslim, doesn't matter, right? India was the only country where it was all good. And I just feel sometimes that's changing, and that's the idea of India I think we should not change. I don't think it's social distancing, right? It's actually physical distancing. Socially, we are much more closer, right? And that's only because of internet, and then digital technology, right? How things are. Look at, like, Zoom has become part of life now. I figured out very early that advertising doesn't need to be this way, right? It's a great business, it's a fantastic business, like it makes you think different things, and it makes you think of solutions very quick and that scale. But the way the business is set up, it's all wrong. There's a client and there's an agency, then there's this whole feeling of, somebody's almost controlling you. And then all the politics, like there's a marketing head, then there's a creative director. The whole thing is a mess, right? So we said, what if we remove all those things, right? And just purely focus on work. That's how we started our first agency. And then kind of we got married to Biden Kennedy. We grew pretty fast, and next 3-4 years we did some very interesting work. 50-60% of the cases we would walk in and change the business completely. The fortune will change, right? And we would just get the fee, right? And our thinking was, we need to get much more of this action, right? Because we always thought business, right? Of course, there's a strong creative side to it, but we started thinking like that. And from that thinking, 3 of us went and started Motherland to sort of experiment in all kinds of spaces. Doesn't matter what it is. We thought we'll spend next 2 years figuring out, and then we'll see, like, whatever works, then we will go after that. So we have, we said we will do merchandise, based on our sensibilities, right? The thinking was that in India, it always been either very jokey, it's all the same thing, advertising and, Bollywood. It's either this kind of very crude jokes, or all the references are based on making fun of a taxi driver or making fun of an accent, or, it's always like, there's no real kind of intellect, you know what I'm saying? And people actually, even the products have become like that. Or it's a rip-off from the West. We don't have a single great brand coming out of India, right? And someone has to do it. So we kind of, in our own overconfident way, we feel like we are really well positioned to kind of do that because of our equation with, whether it is the business community or even the government. We have one of those, like a weird talent to work with everyone in the right way. We can work with all kind of partners, yet protect the idea and then drive large projects. So that's why things like Jodhpur or maybe even Kochi, we can see, like, if you really push hard, things can happen here. It's a lot of work. I mean, I guess it's the same everywhere, right? When you have to do things properly, it's difficult. Doesn't matter whether it's India, whether it could be New York. It's a tough one, actually. So for us, that's a kind of a driving force, and that gives us kind of inspiration, so to speak. These things actually, personally, it doesn't affect me beyond a point. I'm good with taking shocks, right? So actually, I'm like, yeah, it's coming, And I thought, oh, this is much more effective than actually going to office. So typically what happens, I go in the morning, we spend 10-15 minutes just talking about shit, right? More than me. And then I go do some work and come back. Then I go to common room and look what's happening. So a lot of time goes in just kind of maintenance. And now I don't do that. I just focus on, like, really what's very important. And that's been very good and very effective. I think this is the way forward. And we are even thinking to repurpose our Motherland office, right? Use it for something else, not for us to go and sit there. We only like 5-6 people with a lot of space, and it felt like a very cool thing, but like, we're going to stop that. For me, it's like, if I can clean up India properly and then make sure everyone is driving properly, that'll be the big achievement, One of the things really gets me is that, just fix things, So we are trying to do, at least in some areas, right? In some parts, if we can do it, maybe like little corners, Like in Jodhpur, we have a chance to do that, actually, We I won't say control, but we have influence over an area of almost 2 kilometers. So we are hoping with that kind of case study or an example, we can take on more and more places. So we are now going in for next round of fundraising. And if we get the right partners, I think we'll be able to do that in more places. Designers need to take responsibility, right? I think if all of us are professional and then do our job well, it doesn't matter. It'll all be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so see that the designers are not, we are not like doctors who can fix this problem, right? But we can design better. We can make cities look better. We can make pages of newspapers look better. We can do so many things, at least at a very base level, make things look better and make things function better. Designers can actually take a big lead and then push things forward.